Good morning and welcome to Master Debatin'. I'm your host, John McLaughlin, and today I'm joined with Ms. Callahan and Ms. Turner. Ms. Callahan teaches at Faber Elementary, and Ms. Turner was her substitute until recently when Ms. Callahan discovered that Ms. Turner was not assigning homework to her students, which brought to light the question, should homework be abolished from our education system? Ms. Callahan is of the mind that homework is a necessity, while Ms. Turner thinks it does nothing but induce stress into our nation's youth. Now, Ms. Callahan, you think that homework is something that is absolutely paramount when it comes to a student's education. Why is that?
Absolutely. I think that homework is just a great opportunity for kids to take the knowledge that they've learned on their own and bring it home and kind of sit with it and really just learn more from doing it on their own. Whereas in class, sometimes kids are daydreaming and not paying attention. So this is a way to check that they're actually learning things in class. Okay.
And Ms. Turner, you think that homework overall is generally unbeneficial in a student's education. Why do you think that?
Yeah, just like, many teachers like Miss Callahan, I feel like they just use homework as records for students. I don't feel like it necessarily does anything for a student's learning. And it's also a very stressful thing, just trying to do homework when you get home. Like, you never know a student's home background or what's going on in their house, and you're just like giving out a whole winter packet. Like, who wants to do that? We want to have fun.
Yeah,
okay?
but I mean, you have other responsibilities, but school is very important, and that should be a prime responsibility as well.
What is school like? What is really the education system like?
I don't really have an answer for that question.
Well, hold on for a second. Now, Ms. Callahan, you teach 6th grade at Faber Elementary.
Correct.
And your curriculum involves a lot of schoolwork. And you think that this is much more helpful than, normal 6th grade elementary curriculums. Why do you think more work is better?
I think it's better because, you're getting them ready for the real world. You have to be able, they need to be pushed at an early age, and if they're pushed and they're learning more, then they're going to succeed and come out higher than the rest of, people in the same district even.
I see. And Ms. Turner, you think that more homework is terribly unbeneficial, like I said earlier, but you also think that students have an opportunity to learn more with less homework.
Yes, they definitely do. You said homework helps prepare them for the real world. No, it gives you an idea how to work analytically, in the real world, but you develop personal skills through personal experience, and you don't really need homework to develop that personal experience. A huge amount of homework can also affect a student's mental health. Do we not care about mental health? I think that's very important, and just implementing that at a young age, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework, provides a certain thinking system for students. Oh, I got to do this, no.
Yeah, you do have to do that because it's a responsibility. It's part of your schoolwork. You have to, if we didn't care, if we just were oh yeah, just go to class. If you want to pay attention, pay attention. If you don't do your homework. What kind of world would we be setting them up for?
You definitely, when you go to school, you learn, you network amongst your peers, you know what I'm saying? You translate information amongst each other. But I don't think homework is really beneficial. It's just so much stress. Nobody needs
it. Doesn't
that.
have to be. If you're using proper time management, then it's not stressful.
And how do you do that with young students? How do you teach them proper time management with homework?
Well, that should be something that you're teaching them, and if you're doing that, then you're succeeding.
Well, I do think that stress can be an important factor when it comes to elementary level.
Definitely.
But you have come out stated saying that this abolishment of homework should, affect all education levels, going up to even the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that?
I could probably take that back. I definitely think it should stop after high school, because, we're getting ready for the real world. I don't feel like homework is beneficial. That's just me. I just don't feel like it's beneficial. Probably elementary school, I see you do your elementary thing, I was subbing for the students or whatever, but it seemed like they weren't really into it. How do you get a student into homework if they're not trying to do it?
Homework isn't supposed to be a fun activity that you go home and you're like, yay, my homework. You have to be able to learn. It can be fun, but at the same time, it's more about learning, and sometimes learning is hard, it's difficult, and it's not the most fun thing in the world, but you still have to do it.
Well, putting the collegiate level aside, would you consider the possibility of making less homework involved in your curriculum in elementary school. Let's just forget about all other education levels for a second. What would you say to that?
No, I don't think so, because I think that pushing kids early on is a good thing to be doing, because I mean it's getting them ahead of the rest of the people, you know, in their district, and like they're going to be much more competitive when it comes to getting into colleges.
Well, good points all around, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. That's all the time we have right now. When we come back, when we come back, we're going to ask the question, should your professor be fired for incompetence? We'll find out after these messages.